Okay, you have your matches. Now what? I know that feeling. You're looking at 3 to 5 neighborhoods that all seem pretty good. But you're probably thinking, how do I actually choose between these and what do I do with this information? That's exactly what I want to walk you through right now. Because having the data is one thing, but using that to actually move with confidence, that takes a plan. So let me give you that plan. First things first, you're going to want to connect with a local agent. Now, you don't have to do that immediately, but when you're ready to move from exploration to action, here's how that happens. If we haven't already suggested some agents for you to use in your dashboard, just send us a message and tell us you're ready. Within 24 to 48 hours, we'll get you vetted agents in your target city. These aren't random realtors. We've already checked them out. So you can skip the research phase and go right to talking to people who actually know the neighborhood you're looking at. So here's the thing about those 3 to 5 neighborhoods that we gave you. They're all pretty solid matches. They're all within a similar distance to your work or your family, whatever it is that matters to you. So how do you pick? First, you can rank them 1 through 5 just based on how you feel about them. And that's valuable information. But here's what's smarter. Actually start looking at houses in each neighborhood. Maybe your absolute favorite house is in neighborhood 2 instead of neighborhood 1. And now you have a choice. Do you love the house more or the neighborhood more? That's a real decision you can make with real data. Don't just pick your best match. Pick the neighborhood where you can actually see yourself living. But before you start house hunting, let me give you a framework for how to actually evaluate these neighborhoods. Here's what I want you to do. Sit down, list 5 to 10 things that you love about your current house and neighborhood. The things that actually make you happy. Then list 5 to 10 things that you don't really like about it. Now take those things, go into each of your matches, look at how your data reflects that. Does this neighborhood have the things that you love and avoid the things you hate? That's your evaluation framework. That's how you compare one match to another. Not by gut feeling alone, but what actually aligns to you. Now, let's talk about visiting in person, because here's the truth. You can't buy a house without being there, period. But if you're moving across the country, you probably don't want to make 5 trips. So here's how I would do it. Pick your 3 to 5 neighborhoods. Once you've nailed those down, find a handful of homes in each that you actually like. Then and only then, you should book one trip where a local agent can take you through all of them. You'll see the neighborhoods, the houses. You can compare everything at once. That's efficient and that's smart. Now, when you're there in person, what are you actually looking for? Pay really close attention to how the neighborhood actually feels. Compare it to what the data says. So let's say we gave the neighborhood a 70% match. Does it feel like a 70% match to you? When you see the neighborhood and you're walking through and you're talking to people and see the schools, does it actually match with what the numbers told you? If it does, then great. You can trust it. If it doesn't, that might tell you something important. Maybe you weighted something wrong. Maybe there's a factor that matters to you that you didn't realize mattered. And we can go back and adjust that. You're not trying to prove our data right. You're trying to calibrate it to your reality. Speaking of reality, there are some red flags you should watch out for. Let's say you look at the map and you see a neighborhood that's colored red or maybe grayed out, meaning the algorithm says it's not a good match. But then you actually go to the neighborhood, or maybe your sister lives there, you've been there before, and you think it feels good. That's a red flag. What that's telling you is you maybe moved a slider wrong when you were putting in your factors. Or maybe you were prioritizing something differently than you thought. That actually happened to a buddy of mine last week. He was told about an area that other people had really loved, but it was grayed out on his map. We dug in and found that he had accidentally slid a slider to the wrong side. We got that corrected, and they were back on track. So that's the good news. It's easily fixable. You can flip the targeting on your factors really easily and get it right. Here's something people underestimate: the commute. You can drop your work address in the map to see exactly how far you are from the neighborhoods you matched with. We show you the average commute times of people living in that area, so you get a sense of how far people are actually traveling. And we're releasing something soon that'll be even better. You'll be able to input your specific job location and filter neighborhoods by exactly how far your commute actually is. Don't guess on this, verify it. Because a 2-hour commute every day will ruin even that perfect neighborhood. Now here's the biggest thing I need to tell you. The data can get you really close, but the final check, that's up to you. After all this research, looking at the data, visiting the area, talking to agents, you have to ask yourself, does this neighborhood feel right? Don't dismiss your gut. Your intuition's going to pick up on things that data might miss. But also, don't override the data just because something looks good on Instagram. The best move is when your gut and data agree, and if they don't, that's when you dig deeper. Finally, let's talk about your timeline, because I know you probably have a deadline. Here's what I recommend. Start looking at neighborhoods 3 to 6 months before you actually need to move. That sounds like a long time, but it's not. It lets you really dial in those neighborhoods without feeling rushed. Then, once you're locked in on your neighborhood and you start looking at houses, you want to have an offer in and accepted within 30 to 45 days of your desired move date. That gives you enough time for inspections, appraisals, closings, all of it. If something goes wrong with that first house, you'll still have time to pivot to get into another one. If you're buying with cash, that timeline could get tighter, but the principle's the same. Don't rush this decision, give yourself time. The less rush you are, the better decision you'll make. That's law. So here's what you can do right now. Look at your matches, evaluate them against what you love and hate with where you are right now. Figure out which neighborhoods feel right and find some houses in those neighborhoods. Start reaching out to agents and plan a trip. That's the roadmap. That's how you move from data to decision and move to somewhere you actually love. You have all the information you need. Now you just need to follow the steps. So go to your dashboard. Start exploring your neighborhoods. Look at the factors, the data, the houses, and when you're ready to move on to the next steps, reach out and let us know. We'll get you connected with an agent who knows these neighborhoods inside and out. You don't have to figure this out alone. You have the data, the framework. Now you just need the right people in your corner. Let's do this.